Oh, hi, everybody, and welcome to our April Astro Clearing Circle. This is our 60th circle, so we're celebrating 5 years of circling with all of this beautiful astrological energy and these beautiful slides that Belen creates for us, and incredible astrological insights and a channeled message from Zora, also from Belen. And we're going to do a journey this evening also that is designed to help us soften and open through the fifth chakra, the throat chakra, so that we can more easily communicate, speak our own truth, hear the truth of others, more easily communicate between heart and mind. I'm going to do some energetic rebalancing. So I'm going to ask everybody's permission to do that this evening. If you would prefer that I not include you in the energetic clearing and rebalancing, please either send me a personal note in the chat saying no thanks, no problem, or just in the group chat, that's fine too. And I will intentionally not include you. Otherwise, you will be included. And for those of you watching on recording this evening, I know there are a number of you who have reached out to us and reminded us that you are otherwise engaged this evening. Please know that if you set your intention to not be included in the energetic rebalancing, then you will not be. But if you want to be, you will be. And that goes for whatever timeline. It's not time sensitive. We also have a little extra special piece this evening to offer you. And that is that we are going to be doing a draw at the end of the evening. And we're going to be doing that for the person whose birthday is closest to today being April 9th. So whatever month and day of the person whose birthday is closest to today, you will be winning an Astro card reading for you, especially one-on-one. We do it generally speaking with groups, but we love doing it with individuals as well. And essentially what it is Velen has created these gorgeous, she's a very multi-talented person. Have you noticed that? She's created these gorgeous oracle cards, astrology cards. I actually have my deck right here, the Celestial Wisdom Astrology deck. See if I can show that to you without it being too shiny. And so it's a set of cards, and she uses those cards as an oracle deck and responds to any questions that you have. And then as she is offering those astrological insights, I use that information to clear and rebalance the energy around the challenges that you have associated with those astrological pieces, and then reconnect you to your highest version of expression of those positive strengths, gifts, and talents. So very exciting. Wanted to let you know that we're doing that this evening. And now onward, Velen is going to share with you the channeled message that Zora has for all of us for this month.
So I'm going to read it, but just Luba, taking your request to heart, I actually recorded it and it is now in the module. So you'll be able to listen if you prefer to listen to it after tonight. So here's the message that came through. My dear ones, each of you shines brightly from the center of your heart, and this is seen in dimensions that you cannot even comprehend, and yet it is a reality of your beingness. During this time of collective evolution, each of you, in your own way, is also embarking on your own personal transformation, and that is allowing your heart energy to shine even brighter. Do not worry if this does not make sense for you within your physical being or even your understanding of your energetic being, for it is witnessed by all and at the same time is being directly impactful on those whose energy you interact with. Know that each time you open your heart, even in the smallest of gestures, you are sending a spark of light into the energy field that encompasses your planet. Even through these times of transformation within your Earth planet as a whole, that spark of light is a gift that elevates your collective and is seen and honored by all of those who are assisting your Earth's journey and your human collective journey. We are grateful and supportive of each one of you as you find your own personal courageous acts of kindness in your own unique way, and we honor the power that this holds for all.
Beautiful. So just holding that message in your heart for a moment. Let's put our hands on our hearts just for a moment and find ground here. Just being present to your breath, noticing how that message lands in your body, noticing your own inhale and exhale. And if you've had a bit of a day and it's taken you a bit to get here, just finding a little bit of touch, either with thumb and index finger, just rubbing together, or rubbing the fingers against the palms. Just sliding hands back and forth gently and softly and really feeling a presence, or thumb and fingertips. Feeling your presence, wiggling your toes, and again, inhaling and exhaling. You can have eyes closed or eyes open, just feeling into the presence in your own body.
So, any of you who've been with us for a while have probably for the last year heard we're coming up to this big time. There's lots of changes happening. It's our own personal growth and et cetera, et cetera. Well, we're in it. This is it. We are now living it fully. And as much as there's a lot of maybe distractions externally, this is such a potent time for each of our own personal journeys. So part of what's happened this month, it actually happened March 30th, was the planet Neptune, our dreams, our intuition, our creativity, our connection to oneness and unity, has shifted into Aries, the planet of I am. It's divine inspiration, it's passion, it's energy, it's courage, it's impulsive in some ways, but it's this drive forward. This has happened, and Neptune hasn't been in Aries since 1861, and it's going to be in Aries for 14 years. So we're literally taking our first steps into this energy. And it's part of the huge transition that's happening over the course of this year into next year. So we are now getting to start to live this out and see how it feels in our own life. So Neptune is about our intuition, and it's the heart. It's part of the heart-centeredness that we're being guided to follow that now. So as we find our own path, we need to recognize that when we connect to our heart, when we connect to our intuition, that is what's guiding us forward. And there's a lot of Piscean energy still. I don't need to go into all of it, but there's an emphasis until the middle of the month on the collective, on the inspiration, on the intuition, on the compassion and self-compassion. All of those energies are very powerful over the course of the month, but particularly the first part of the month. So what we're being asked, Aries being action, Aries being a new cycle, Aries being the start of something, initiation, we're being guided in a way by our own inspiration. Like, it's the feeling of what lights you up. When you think of doing something and it's like, oh, that feels so great. And that is the wisdom. That's your wisdom giving you a signpost of where to go. When you think of doing something and it's like the weight, your shoulders slump and the weight is too much, you feel the depression or the heaviness, that's also your inner guidance system saying, maybe that's not the path. Maybe we need to seek another path. So it's an incredible time to trust that feeling, however you experience it, and follow what lights you up. And it's also a time to really allow your light to shine and allow that to be seen in a way that may actually take courage to show up. It's like, okay, well, here I am. I'm okay to be seen in the shininess of who you are. That can be challenging. The Aries I am. Sometimes we want to keep our light under a little bit of a, keep your light under a bushel. This is not the time. This is when we're being called to show up, step up, shine that light. It's required now. So part of what the action of Aries is when we take it from our kindness, our self-compassion, our empathy for others, that connection to unity, we are grounding the spiritual quality of that into reality. We are manifesting kindness. We're bringing it down to the earth. This is what is so needed in our world, and it's part of what we're creating as part of the new cycle. And as we're stepping into this new cycle, there's also the acknowledgement there are things that we won't align to anymore. And so it's paying attention to what we can let go of, releasing old stories, recognizing that things aren't needed anymore and we don't need to carry them forward, or we don't want to. And then we look at how can we have self-compassion to find ways to put down the old stories, to step into the new. And there's another piece, because the changes are so huge that we're stepping into. Part of it is we need to feel our way forward. We need to trust our intuition. We need to be guided inwardly, because the reality that we're creating isn't all seen yet. Someone said, I think this might have been Rick Levine, I think he said, I can't remember which astrologer, but whoever it was said, the curve is so big that we actually can't see around the curve, because that's the transformation that's happening. So we have to trust, we have to feel, we have to be guided by what's right for us, what our next path is. And that is going to allow us to find our own way in this new reality we're creating, in this new way of being.
Beautiful. So as we contemplate that, I'm going to ask that everybody put a word or phrase into the chat. And again, you can send it to everyone, or you can send it just to me personally. If you wanted to send it just to me personally, you can do that in the little drop down. There's a little blue drop down that says everyone. And if you click on that, you can find me and just send it to me personally. And what I'd like is 2 words or phrases from each of you, please. The first one is, what feels heavy for you right now? Just off the top of your head, like what still feels heavy for you? Maybe there's a lingering story, or and it can be in the collective. It doesn't have to be just for you personally, but what feels heavy for you right now? And what feels light? What feels light? Okay.
So with all the changes that we're experiencing collectively and personally, we are also astrologically being supported. It's incredible what's happening in the sky, where planets are lining up for flow and for opportunity to support this change. And this doesn't always happen. So there's part of this over the next year is an incredible, actually till 2027, is an incredibly unique configuration of support and opportunity. So what's happening right now, there's 2 planets that are in a supportive aspect, but that supportive aspect isn't necessarily flow. It's more like an opportunity. It's an invitation. So what's happening right now is we are being invited to step into the new. And this is supported, the opportunity is there. However, we need to find how we do it for ourselves. So the planets involved are Uranus, which is about our freedom, our liberation. It's about the future. It's higher frequency. It's our personal insights and awakenings. And then Saturn, which is about discipline, and it's the old, it's the structure, the responsibility, but it's also the wisdom that we gain through living our life and showing up in commitments and recognizing where the rules that we have in our life, or the boundaries, work for us. So these 2 are coming together, the old and the new, the the responsibility, the rules, and the breakthrough. This is what's happening right now, and they're working together. So what that says to me is there's a place where we can step into maybe a new structure for ourselves. We can recognize the new awakening that we are being offered through this, and we may need to stay grounded, or we need to have a really strong foundation so that we can walk through these insights, or this the personal breakthroughs that we're working with. So part of the Uranus energy is about being authentic. And so what we are being offered at this time is a way to step into, is some insights into what it means to be truly authentic now, what that means, not what you were 10 years ago, not what you were even 10 days ago. We are now being supported to say, this is me authentically. This is how I want to show up. in myself. This is how I want to lead. Once again, we're starting new cycles. This is how I want to step into this new cycle. And so we're being offered a chance to manifest. That's Saturn, manifestation. The future, that's Uranus. And the invitation here is to align to a higher frequency. And higher frequency can be compassion, can be gratitude, can be any kind of love, any kind of elevation of what that level of compassion is in the world. So to follow that as a way for what do we want to bring into the future, and to find a way to follow that, to begin to take steps that manifest the future based on those frequencies. This is incredibly potent for what we have the opportunity to create, each on an individual level. And I'm thinking about the channeling, each on an individual level, because that affects everything. So there's also the place right now where Uranus is in Taurus, and I won't go into the astrology of it, but this is aligning to our values. This is saying, how are you showing up with what's important to you? And even how are you including your own self-worth in the awareness of what you're moving into, of what you want to create? And there's a piece about Saturn that is about fears. And so there are places where we need to acknowledge the understand past fears so that we can actually put them down. And Uranus, they often say it's breakthrough to break down, or expect the unexpected. It's the place where things can happen that may even be small things that can feel disruptive. And in this context, they are shaking up the old pieces that you do not need to carry forward anymore. So there's times where as over the next while, so we're going to be working with this for a while, actually into next year, to recognize when something shakes your world in some way. And once again, it can even be a small thing, but it's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. To actually contemplate, well, what is that, shock to my system actually telling me about why this is happening, or what pieces feel disturbed, disruptive, because there's a gift in there. So to recognize that that's happening. There's another piece, Saturn is about reality. So this is a time for a reality check, and this is a support system for us to check in and feel what is true for us now. And once again, that's not what was true for us last month, last year, last decade. What is it now for us as we're stepping into this new way of being? And there's a lovely piece about the Neptunian energy, about the Piscean energy of connecting to source. And that's recognizing the divine path that we're to follow. What does that mean? What does that feel like? How are we connecting to that? So there's an opportunity this month to start to really consider that, and consider what that looks like for your future, following a divine path. What does that mean? And the other piece about Saturn is about time and past and our experiences. And so there's a place where we can honor what our past has been, honor the wisdom that has come from what we've lived already, and bring that forward, bring that wisdom forward as we are co-creating a future, and in some cases, a future that we can't even see in this moment. So this is a potent time of opportunity for all of us to consider what the future path that we want to create looks like now, what it feels like now, and how we might have the courage to take even small steps into what we want to manifest for ourselves.
So, sorry, before you carry on, I just wanted to follow up with everybody to just put a note in the chat with regard to what you felt was heavy. I have done a clearing, so you can take a look at the chat for that. For you, I've done clearing for everybody. And I'm about to do a reconnection. I was in the middle of doing that. And as I'm doing that, with regard to the piece for you that feels light, so a lot of you have some very kind of inspired language around that. What is one step? So regarding, I'll just go back to where we were for a second. regarding the sense of an invitation to take one step that feels supportive of that lightness in your life. Okay, so whatever the lightness was that you shared, some of you shared it with the group, some of you shared it with me personally. I have a list here. Whatever that lightness is, one step. Go ahead and put that in the chat when you're ready.
So I actually stole this line, be the hero of your own story, from Stephen Forrest, a beautiful astrologer writer. Love the way he phrases things. Anyways, this is part of what we're stepping into. We are being asked to be the hero of our own story. And the hero energy is in Mars. Mars is about action, drive, passion, being courageous, starting things. It's willpower, it's motivation. So there's all sorts of Mars energy. It can, in the less effective way of manifesting, can be impulsive and can bring conflict. But what we're looking for is showing up, for having the courage to show up for ourselves. And it is connecting with Pluto this month, which is power, it's deep healing, it's transformation, it's the shadow side, it's death and rebirth, total renewal of what we can be. So these two are come together. This is a potent expression of energies. And just for those of you in the States, this actually, they came together first the day before the election. They came together again the day of the certification of the vote, and they're coming together for the final, the place where that piece of this energy sort of gets resolved, maybe integrated, and that's coming up at the end of this month. So there's a story here. But personally, Mars is about our willpower. Pluto is intense, it's powerful. So we're being actually offered this deep energy that we can use. We can power ourselves. And I was listening to Pam Gregory, and she said, this is our chance to transform our energy into divine will. And in some ways, bringing the Neptune, surrender to divine will rather than the conflict, actually come to a place of being fully empowered to be ourselves and taking action from that place. So part of Mars has been in Cancer for on and off since September, which is extraordinary. It's usually in for 6 to 8 weeks. And that's about having the emotional courage to support your soul growth. What does that mean? So that is still acting now. It's about to go into Leo, but we've still got that until the middle of the month. So look at what you have, how you have grown in ways of stepping up, maybe cutting things out that didn't work for you emotionally. What are how are you using your emotional courage to support your own soul path, to nurture yourself? That's a piece that's happening right now, and that can help you find a way to be a hero of your own story. There's another piece about this, is like setting clear boundaries for yourself. This is so important, particularly when there's so much external noise. So what boundaries do you need, whether it's personal, whether it's, to separate yourself out from the external noise? What are those pieces? And sometimes it's just setting in the calendar 5 minutes a day to sit in quietness or to look at the birds outside, but acknowledge I'm setting aside this time, or I'm doing this thing, or I'm setting a container where, maybe that person, that thing doesn't belong in my life now because I'm aligning to a path that may be different from before. So that's also being part of the energies that are happening right now. And there's a beautiful piece that's happening this month with Mars goes into Leo, and Leo's about shining your light. Mars is about having courage. So this is about having the courage to shine a light and step into your own power, step into your authentic sense of self. What does that mean for you? And once again, this doesn't have to be a big, huge thing, but it does mean acknowledging how powerful you are just in your beingness, in your own light. It's a beautiful thing when you can come to it and feel the light come through, and you can just stand in a sense of yourself in a new way. And Mars wants to take action. So here again, this is aligned also to that Neptune in Aries. Mars, Take action following your inspiration, following your heart. That's what's required now. There may be people who take action from uncertainty, from disillusionment, from confusion. There's all that is going to be going on. Our call is to connect to ourself and to take action from what we know, from our divine wisdom, from our intuition, from what once again lights us up. That's the place where if we can tap into that and look for it, even if it's a little tiny spark of inspiration, follow that path. That's lighting your way. And this is a new cycle in many, many ways. And I've talked about this a lot. 2025 is this huge reset, this huge beginning of a new cycle that we've not seen in human history. And so knowing that, we have to recognize that it takes a lot of courage to step onto a path that's never been here before. And so the only thing that can guide us fully, intuitively, is to tap into our inner wisdom. It's the only truth that we can rely on, because there's going to be a lot of, I'll just say, mistruths outside, and that is our guiding force. So that requires the quietness often to hear that, to feel that, however that is for you. And I was reminded by something and someone, I don't know, but the word courage comes from the French word coeur, and I don't know where the actually beginning, but I know it's a French, and that means heart. So when we step into our courage, we're following our heart. And once again, that's in our feeling sense. And so to recognize that gives us courage when we follow our heart. And then we are a hero of our own story.
Love that. So just if you want to check the chat, I reconnected all of you, with regard to your one inspired step that you're looking to take.
Lovely. And I love that tenderness that you put in there. That's beautiful. So here's the thing. We are at this turning point that has not been seen astrologically in the sky in human history, as far as people have gone back. I know some astrologers have gone back 10,000 years. My software doesn't do that. That's the level of newness. That's the level of what we are initiating. So thinking that in big picture, it's like, whoa, that's a lot. But when we just consider it individually, then it becomes a point where we can make choices and to recognize there is no going back. This is it. We are moving forward one way or another. So recognizing that when you have an understanding either of the astrology or connection to spirit or any kind of wisdom teacher, whatever it is that you are guided by, and of course you're sitting here, so you're hearing this, to know that knowing that we can't go back to what was comfortable, knowing that we can't go back to the way things were, it's such an incredible time to consider, to drop in and know that we're creating something. It's like, okay, we're almost still in the void of what can we create? And really all of this year is part of that. It's not fully initiated yet. We're in the initiation. So we've got this beautiful time, and I've got to create time for inner reflection. I feel like it's so important for everyone to make the time to actually connect inwardly, so that the busyness doesn't deflect from the potential of what you have, of dropping into the void and seeing what comes up for you. And to listen and trust your inner guidance system. We all have it. It's going to be different for everyone. It's going to be whatever, how you feel, how you hear. For me, synchronicities really are powerful in terms of being a guidance system for myself, and to recognize that this is the time, because we're moving into something we've not been to before. And to recognize that our souls have chosen to be here in this moment. And in this moment, we're being asked to find a way forward in a new way of being for ourselves. What does that look like? And once again, unique to everybody. How are we showing up? How are we listening to our soul that wants us to be the best that we can be in whatever that is? And everyone's got their own soul, and I look at a chart and I look at the nodes, everyone's come in with their own soul purpose and their own challenges to find their way this is such a powerful time to listen to that. And to know that it's also a really potent time to recognize we're going to have new awakenings, new understanding, new spiritual truths coming, new personal transformations that are being offered to us, and to invite that in. And to, even though sometimes that can be really challenging and sometimes it can flow beautifully, to recognize how unique a time that we're living. And to know that and to work with the energies is such it's such an incredible opportunity that we are being gifted. And like I said before, the planets are also lining up to be in supportive energies over the next few years, so to take advantage of where we're being held in this transformation. And there's a lot of especially right now, some energy of Venus, and Venus is about relationships. So there's also the place where recognizing what relationships are supporting your soul's journey. Who do you want to draw to you? Who are uplifting you and who are draining you? Who are supporting what you are feeling is your soul's path now? To recognize how important that is, because there's a piece here about we are in this together. We are in this collectively. So who have you, who is your tribe? Who's supporting you? How are you stepping into your new truth, being assisted by those around you? So, coming to circles or having a friend that connects so deeply with you that you are seen at that deep level. And with all of these changes, it's so key for us to stay grounded. It's a Saturnian piece. There's a place where it's just to stay grounded, and to stay grounded in a sense of who we are, in our own authenticity, in our own value, our own worth. And from that place, follow the dreams, the inspiration, once again, from the beginning, the things that light you up. And once again, when you have a tribe that can support you, even if it's one person that says, yeah, that makes sense, you should go for it, try that. And particularly in 2025, we're getting a chance to try things before they get fully, locked into the new signs next year. So to know that we are manifesting a new reality from a place we've never been before. So to recognize that, having patience with ourselves, having compassion for ourselves and those around us, to recognize that this can feel unsettling. But the opportunity here is incredible. And so we're being asked to tap into each individual place from our heart, choose to take steps into this manifestation, because that starts this cycle that is new, that is a total, a new way of creating and co-creating in our world right now. So this is a potent month. This is a powerful month for a lot of astrology. And it's also part of the reality of we're in that now, where there is no turning back. We're doing it. So honor yourself, honor your knowing, honor what supports you, and let your heart be your guide.
That's a perfect lead into our journey this evening. So there are a couple of pieces that are really holding strong around this time that we're in for me. One of those pieces is that Aries energy of initiation or pioneering. And so when we are pioneering, when we are a pioneer, an energetic pioneer, we're exploring, we're discovering, and we're just using our instinct and our intuition and our felt sense and experience to guide us. We also, that's a great opportunity to connect with what one of our group calls the A-team, right? You're a team of guides, you're a team of ancestors, you're a team of angels, you're a team of whomever that is for you. And that guidance, along with your own inner GPS, is exactly the thing that will lead you into that more authentic space which is around that dog leg or around that curve in a way that is impossible for us to see or even to rationalize because it doesn't have a history. And that's the nature of the Aries energy, right? It's fresh, it's new, it's pioneering. So that's the first piece. The second piece is the spiritual piece, which is the listening. And so that's where we've come to, or we've been told over and over again by Zora and by other channelers, channeled messages that leading with the heart at this time is key. If you try to lead with your head, you're going to go astray. And so the way that we are going to connect in will be through the heart. And we know that the connection point between our heart and our knowing is that throat chakra, that fifth chakra. And we've got this beautiful blue energy that's showing up around the throat in this image. And that reminds us of the frequency, the light frequency and the light code that is held in the throat. And a reminder, one thing that was so poignant for me many, many years ago when I was first studying chakras is a reminder that this particular energy center is about what we hear. It's about hearing the truth, not just about speaking our truth. So as women, we often feel as though it's hard for us to speak our truth. It's hard for us to be heard. It's hard for us to be authentically clear, or, we might feel as though giving our opinion or speaking out will be hurtful to others, or will be a problem for other people, or will be a problem for us. And so we often focus on that piece that is around the speaking of the truth. But this particular energy is also about hearing our truth, hearing others' truth, but hearing our truth, hearing the universal truth, and hearing the truth of our own heart. So that's what we're going to play in. That energy is what we're going to play in today. So let's just take a moment to bring hand to heart and hand to belly, one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly, to bring ourselves into a gentle alignment, a grounding, and feeling your seat really settling into your chair and leaning back if that's appropriate for you. Allowing the shoulder blades to roll back around the spine, just to hug the spine a little bit, and drop the tips of the shoulders away from the ears. So we don't want to be hugging that chakra. We want to be softening it and opening it. And just taking a moment here to feel into your own body, your own presence, and know that your body always tells the truth. When you pay attention, your body always holds the truth for you and always knows. There's a part of you that always knows. So a number of you have indicated that one of the heavy pieces for you right now is a physical piece. Maybe some illness. Certainly there's been illness in my household. There's been illness in my children's household. A lot of struggle. There's been some injury as well. So that is a piece of the puzzle that many of us are working with at the moment. It could be some physical injury. It could be some chronic illness. It could be just a temporary illness. Whatever it is, it's creating some density and some heaviness for us. Just taking a moment here to shift our perspective and remind ourselves that these are all signposts. These are all indicators. They're pointing the way toward healing, toward expansion, toward up-leveling our soul in some way or another. And so supporting ourselves to release some of that heaviness just by hearing, just by listening. Taking a moment to really listen and be with whatever physical discomfort there is that comes perhaps from the chaos created around us, from the political chaos, from the social chaos, from the cultural chaos, or from the chaos in our own physical selves. Taking a moment to just hear the reaction or the response that the body is having without judgment. Just say to yourself, I'm here and I hear you. I hear you. I'm here with you. And that's a first beautiful step to just being fully present to the self. And as you breathe deeply in through the nose and out through the nose, maybe giving the tail a little bit of a wiggle, and noticing the hand on the heart and the heart energy underneath the hand. So we're working with that heart chakra energy in the center of the chest. And you can feel for yourself whether that feels a little bit higher up near the clavicle or a little bit lower toward the breastbone. Wherever your hand settles for you, you might find that there is a pulse there, a warmth. And remember that your hand itself is offering that electromagnetic frequency that your heart is listening to. So allow the heart to listen to the hand, and then allow the hand to listen to the heart. Continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And notice the cadence of the breath as you feel and listen to the heart. So many of you, when you shared what it was that was heavy for you today, you were sharing from the heart. And then when you shared what was light for you, you were sharing from the heart. And so in this place, you were already listening. Allow yourself to go a little deeper now, underneath that heaviness, underneath that lightness, underneath that passion, that desire, whatever it is that you are wanting. Slide underneath that and just be present for a moment. Perhaps there is an opportunity to exhale fully and sit in the pause of that emptiness. So take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale, nice, long, full exhalation, and pause at the bottom of that exhale and simply sink into the emptiness of that pause and listen. Listen to your heart in the pause. And when you're ready, inhale, nice, deep in-breath again. And on the next exhalation, exhale fully, pause, and listen. And then again, a nice deep inhale, a full and long exhalation, pause, and listen. And as you journey deeper into yourself, go underneath whatever it is that you hear from your heart right now. And if it feels appropriate, you may want to feel into the space behind your heart. There's a little cavern, a little cave. Oftentimes there are stored experiences, feelings, emotions, traumas, pieces that get caught in behind the heart. Take a moment to soften into that space behind your heart And listen a little more deeply to what you find there. Perhaps there is some grieving. Oftentimes, our irritability, our frustration, our anger, or our hopelessness, our heartache, covers up a layer of grief, a deep, deep sadness. Just acknowledge that for you, however that shows up. It might be a sadness for the broken trees from a recent ice storm. It might be a sadness for the children whom you know are suffering all around the world. It might be a grief for the planet and her own struggles as she goes through her own ascension process. Acknowledging that grief, when we listen, tells its own story, a story of courage. Courage to have resilience, forbearance, courage to stand, to hold space for the struggle, for the chaos. Hold space for our own suffering, our own pain, and hold space for that spark of hope as we begin to heal. And just as we now watch the buds of spring emerging, we know that those buds began many months ago as the old leaves turned color and fell off the trees. We know that the new evergreen fronds were forming long before we begin to see them. And so it is with us as well. Beneath this grief, this sadness, this chaos, this sense of disillusionment, we are healing. And the new sprout, the new growth has already begun. All of the work that we have done has brought us to this moment of healing so that we may not only speak our truth, but hear our deeper truth more clearly than ever before. So as you journey more deeply into yourself, take one hand gently at the front of the throat chakra and one hand gently to the back. And if this doesn't feel safe to you, just drop the hands to the clavicle a little bit. And bring awareness to the humming and the thrumming and the aliveness that moves through your central channel, that opens up energy into your auric field, that informs every chakra and lights up the blueness, the light codes, the information, the knowledge, the awareness, the up-leveling consciousness of this blue wave that is supporting, amplifying, opening, and evolving your capacity to not only speak your truth, but to hear your truth more deeply than ever before. Remember that your soul's whisperings are subtle. Rarely will it shout at you. So give yourself the gift of listening deeply. It is a kind of self-love. And so we sit in this space together and hold this love for ourselves and each other as our hearts connect, not only within, but with each other, when we feel how that then ripples out, multiplied tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold, our heart energies in combination intertwine and ripple out to the world. And that is that spark of light that Zora has spoken of today. And so it is that we sit in our own spark and shine it out for all to see. And so bringing that hand back to the heart and really feeling a sense of that spark within you, feeling it burning bright within you, coming back gently and slowly to this place and time. And when we're ready, we will draw our gift for this evening. So that's it for us for this evening. Just a reminder that Astro card readings are something that we love to do for groups. It can be for a special event or a fundraiser, maybe a retreat. This evening, we gave away a couple of individual sessions to folks who were here with us, but we are excited to share these Astro card readings with you. And you can take a look on our website, toolsfortransformation.ca, and get some more information about how it works, what we do. Captivating, inspiring, fun. Sounds good to me. So that's it for us. And we will see you on the first Wednesday of May. And until then, we wish you deep peace and the capacity to hear yourself deeply with your fifth chakra, connecting that heart and that mind in open and loving ways.